Let's blink in here. And yeah, I think the fact that this is not an elimination game does kind of mean the nerves are quelled a little bit. But there is still a lot on the line in terms of that upper bracket final, getting into the main stage in a really strong position as well. Then only being one best-of-3 series away from that grand final does kind of put still a heavy emphasis on doing well in this match if you want to continue that form. And arguably speaking, as I've kind of mentioned, both teams have had a really good run at this SI. 5-1 for DZ, 4-1 for Virtus.pro. You don't really want to find your second loss this close to the main arena, to the main stage. So you really want to keep those good vibes going. Now, mind you, for DarkZero, there's been a lot of really good plaudits for Nath. I think he's been clearly a major standout. But I honestly think NJR is giving me the eye test. And every time that I've been able to kind of watch DarkZero, NJR has been a big, big factor for them. Obviously, Beaulo's going to get a lot of credit, and he's got a lot of fans and Canadian, etc. But I like what I've seen from NJR so far at this tournament. So keep an eye on him throughout this match for DarkZero.
Eyes on Pamba then, who's begun down low through main garage. May look to make a play up west main, but will just sit and lurk. Always able to catch Nath off guard, so that's the Twitch taken off the board. And you think about the usefulness of the shock drones in this kind of meta with clearing traps like those F-Not mines. That would definitely hurt DZ. Pamba now up west main and actually in towards the objective. Does he know there's one behind the table? Well, initially he doesn't, and punished. Traded though by Beaulo, who follows up. Pasha, though, inside of Kitchen has a strong position. Canadian now in the 1 versus 4. And for DZ, his first attack has not been amazing.
Yeah, I mentioned it before as well. Defense for Virtus.pro has been a strength of theirs throughout this tournament. Really strong start. And a lot of the reason for that in that round was the horizontal nature of their defense. They didn't actually look to put everybody up above. They actually had good pressure on site. A couple of players over towards that west main hallway as well. I think even towards library stairs. So they clearly were able to deny any kind of fast push from DarkZero that can be taken out here from Canadian. Obviously, we saw Nath lose his life over towards Mud early on, just trying to get into the map in the entry of the Chalet. So clearly something that DarkZero do need to be mindful of if Virtus.pro are denying some of these entry positions. And clearly that's going to be the case. On a basement site here as we get a lovely, nice static vision here. And it's been a long time since we've seen any kind of drone bugs. You remember back in the day with the old mute drone bugs? There we go, fixed, all good. And in time as well for the Nitro Self and Pasha to hit the mark onto Nath. 2 rounds in a row where Nath has just not been able to enter the building. Really good defense from Virtus.pro denying these entry points. Pampazu was able to sneak in, got 1 traded though, and then back 2 by Canadian. So good crossfires here for DarkZero, and they're able to get themselves trophy control, but a slow swing gets punished. Beaulo just not up for the task as always, was watching it, wants to finish him off with the goo mine, throws it at his location as he just leaves him sitting there. Minute 40 left. It's essentially a 3 versus 2 in favor of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, DarkZero finding it tricky to clear these roams currently. Halfway point round 2 and always in a predicament. Shot through the wall, or at least an attempt from DarkZero, but it doesn't quite land. Always tries to cross, caught on the half wall, taken down. So some good work from Canadian, who made that
get the revive now.
Through trophy. The revive should be on, and Beaulo brought back up. DZ now at the 3 versus 2. Can they make this work?
Yeah, NJR's low, so is Beaulo. Canadian has taken a bit of damage, and Shepard still has 2 impacts. Obviously, the Warden can also deny those flashes available through NJR and Beaulo. And while they've got the numbers, or at least they had, remember, of course, yeah, it doesn't take that much there for Shepard to get that kill onto NJR. Comes a 2 versus 2. Beaulo gets a second chance after being knocked down earlier. He has been revived. EE1D available too as well on that Lion. A couple of flashes still, but again, you're going up against the Warden of Dan. 40 seconds remaining in the round, though, for DarkZero. They've still got a little bit of time. There's 1 of 2 flashes down from Beaulo. There's the second to follow. Dan, of course, sitting. The glasses does its job, and Dan will get the kill on the drop. Now makes it very difficult for Canadian. Well done for Virtus.pro. On-site defense is strong. Bit of a messy round through the mid-round with the trades that we saw from both teams, but ultimately successful for VP. 1 round at a time mentality, though, and of course, for both of these 2 teams, neither of them really suffering too much in terms of defeat. Both only dropping 1 series. It was an 0-2 loss. DZ back in groups against G2, and vice versa as well for Virtus.pro. That 1-2 loss to Team Liquid, who's obviously not even here anymore. That was back in the very early portions of the group stage. Virtus.pro certainly a team that, yeah, can look really good at times, and then can start to drop the ball. And that's when DarkZero will have to pounce at some point in this series. I don't know when, but I imagine VP will probably let them back in. It is early days, though, and named for the Boogie Auto Breacher on that library balcony exterior. Can make a very quick entry with the throw in, along with the vert angles that can be opened up. Red King does not get the kill onto joysticks. Eventually, though, from Pampazu, but traded library stairs. That's from Pasha. But eventually doesn't even get that kill. And Beaulo was able to also then get the kill onto Always. Pasha now pushing into Piano, wants to clear this position out on the balcony. As the response from Virtus Pro is quite swift in their approach.
Pretty wild that Pamba was permitted in that area. Shouldn't be an area of the map where VP can allow him, but nonetheless, it will be confirmed in the end. So a 3 versus 3. Both Dan and Beaulo low on HP. Power positions, though, still held by the defense. Pasha rotates over towards box, but that position still being held by Naif outside on the rappel. NJR doesn't find the pinch, so the Oryx will survive. Plenty of time remaining once again for the attack. Very swift on the entry from DarkZero. Virtus Pro, though, keeping pace.
Yeah, the issue right now for DarkZero is the fact that all 3 players are outside of the building. No one's got a really good foothold. Sure, getting some pressure in towards Library. Vaults in towards Piano is successful from Beaulo. I think it was a goo mine that he stepped on. Still has all 4 Rotero charges. Doesn't need them, though. NJR from big window into the mezzanine. Gets that kill onto Pasha. Opens up Library stairs. So for the second round in a row, DarkZero have got themselves into a 3 versus 2 scenario. But again, like the last round, they're both 2 players low and still got a warden to deal with. So a couple of flashes available through Nate and Beaulo. Can they at least now utilize the time, the vert advantage that they have, open up these sight lines, and make it a little bit easier? Oh, a bit of damage onto Shepard. Now really evens things up in terms of the health. They can't just go for a hatch drop, though. Barstock has not been cleared.
Challenging here for DarkZero, despite the double stack backstore, no hard breach. So how will DarkZero look to dislodge these defenders? It's Shepard with the shotgun, good for 1. Dan watches the drop down, but gets slammed by Naif. Now it's all on Shepard, position known, yellow ping, and DarkZero will claim their first attacking round.
Yeah, really smart from Nate there with the hatch drop at the right time in terms of the fact that they started to push over towards backstore, try and clear out those 2 players. Once they had the information there for DarkZero, then they could understand, okay, if we've got one pushing in from the bar side, I'm going to then drop the hatch over towards games. Really good little pinch from DarkZero. Beaulo never even really got involved in that round as well, so it was more like a 2 versus 2 when it was all said and done. Bit of a strange round, though, the way it did kind of play out early on. That was a nice little shot as well in terms of the acute angle. Nave with the double to close it out, and DarkZero certainly get a deserved round. Virtus Pro aren't just like 5 stacking up above and allowing sight to be hit quite quickly on a horizontal take. I've seen, I think it was G2. G2's really abused these kind of vert holds on Chalet a couple of times throughout this tournament, where they just go so fast, open up, hit sight, get the plant down. Virtus Pro, though, really putting an emphasis on making sure the library stairs are in their control. Just the ability on this side to be able to rotate up, down to below, obviously makes it very, very strong. They do give up that solar rotate, obviously, over towards Trophy, so they need somewhere on the map that they too can rotate down, and that will be library stairs. That'll be that library side. And JR on the rappel outside of bedroom. And a couple of players be able to utilize that position and make it work as the Guan Hive launcher gets utilized now by Canadian. This allows the entry as well in towards Sol, and here comes Nave. So far, so good. And he's able to put the pressure onto Joystick. Got that kill. Dan, though, elsewhere got Pambazoos. They lose the hard bridge. Not necessarily needed, though. Not at this point, especially if they do get that vert control. And so far, it's a good start here. Again, it's kitchen dining. So you do eventually have to make your way down below.
Pasha's position is revealed off the back of the drone. There's no pinch, though, from behind here from DarkZero. Instead, a heavy focus through Solar. That said, there may not be an incentive to push forward and can just claim the control they have and transition that in towards the objective. But Dan is able to throw a spanner into the works. Beaulo falls, and the Lion will play no further part in the round. DarkZero will continue to march forward. I don't know how much information they have at the moment. Still 6 drones. Nath exposing himself perhaps to a trade attempt. Although up above, he is able to find Shepard and escape. So perhaps a slight misplay there from Virtus Pro, not aggressing on the sledge. Nonetheless, though, it's now a 3 versus 3, and they have info on sight.
Last bit of droning as well from DarkZero now to just try and find where these players are. Canadian gets the kill onto Pasha. The Nitrocell in response from Dan is ineffectual despite the yellow ping. Nice long range of shot over towards NJR. Always trying to get involved as well. Time will become a factor, and if the hatch drops come through, well then obviously a chance still here for Virtus Pro, playing sight with good long angles that they've got established. Dan's going for that flank up above, and it will catch one off guard. That's Nave, still up. Canadian's going for the plant. He's being watched here. NJR, I think, has got this one covered, and does. Nicely done from NJR. Really well worked from DarkZero. 2 rounds, 2 attacking rounds early on, and so far a strong start on Chalet.
We'll see if they're dragged into it this time around. I would anticipate as much. Interesting composition, Capital in play, so Canadian can use those bolts probably for the execute. Beaulo can use his air jabs to cut off the retake attempt. And with the 4As to help clear util on site, there's every world in which DarkZero could be far more direct on their approach.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why DarkZero have got main breach opened up and then rotate, it's more the perceived pressure. They're not going to play through it straight away, and it does give them an avenue later in the round. Now they'll turn their attention to a roaming VP. Obviously, a couple of players up above. Pasha over towards Piano, and now the library hallway. Someone to really be dealt with in that top floor scenario defensively for VP as he continues to run around. And this Dan actually finds the opening kill onto NJR. What that kind of angle? That must have been super aggressive from NJR. Down below. Surprising, because I really thought DarkZero would opt to try and clear up above, but he does get caught. So far, so good from Dan. 5-2, playing the Warden well. More kills as well. DarkZero opting to go a little bit more aggressive here. Not try to play that roam game style, but it does not work. Does not pay dividends, and there is that response from Virtus.pro. Again, similar to the opening 2 rounds. That on-site defense is just so strong. If they don't lose members early, if they've got numbers up, they are a very strong, stalwart defense to try and push through, and DarkZero just found nothing.
Initial drone work from Beaulo to clear up above. Also focus down below here from DarkZero. That may allow them to apply more pressure in towards backstore. And we saw that VP, especially late in the round last time, looked to fortify that particular position. Here is Pamba on the shock drones. And we'll be able to track what kind of information he can gather and maybe util he can clear. Although I'm guessing it will be relatively limited. That's always on the bot library stairs position. And with those goo mines in tow, he can do a really good job in denying that lurk potential down below, which the likes of Pambazoo may elect to try and go for.
Yeah, again, DarkZero with the operator lineup, they've got a really good way of flushing out positions, but if those positions are being held by Virtus.pro and then moving around, you've got the Oryx, the Warden doesn't sit still, then that can kind of deny a little bit of what DZ is trying to bring here. So curious to see how Virtus.pro are opting to play this round. Like Shepard's sitting on the bomb chassis inside of games. Like that's how, you know, moving around that he is being. And that means he can't just sit in towards backstore because he knows he'll get incendiaried, he might get smoked out. Obviously the Hive launcher now being utilized here by Canadian. So VP are actually playing this well. They're like holding a lot of off-angle positions that wouldn't necessarily be as cleared. And look at Dan, how aggressive, swinging big window, despite the bees buzzing inside of his face. Drone right in front of him as well. He'll get rid of that one. Only 4 now remaining for DarkZero. They do find the opening kill though. Response doesn't come through from Dan. It's actually Beaulo that gets the kill onto Joystick. And Nafe is going into the plant over towards the half-wall default. Does Dan even know this? He can't even stop it. Yes, he can. Oh, just in time from Dan. 8-2 on the Warden. DarkZero cannot stop him. The plant does not go down. And suddenly now it's a recovery mission.
Pamba with the shotgun. As DZ look to recover the round. Dan storming through the flames to deny that attempt from the attack. Now Pamba, an awkward fight up above. Can he link up with NJR? They do. So a 2 versus 2. 30 seconds, 1 Selma. But they need to flush out Dan, and this will be a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, hatch drop is pretty much a no-go at this point. Dan is just well primed in his position. Oh, what an angle! Oh, okay! A little open hole in towards backstorm. Pambazoo takes the time. He didn't have much of it to flank and go for that kill. It's down to always in a 1v2. Pambazoo! What a turnaround! The dynamic duo for DarkZero! And it is a successful recovery mission, despite the collapse at the default half wall. Scrappy round, but well played from DZ to not give up on said round. Found another avenue, found another option. And they get themselves a 3rd round to close out the half. 3-3 scoreline.
He needs to do his best to deny the clutch drones and the shock drones from those respective operators on the attack. Because if they're able to hack and or destroy Fenrir mines and Maestro cams, that will significantly weaken the defense here from DarkZero, who love playing around that information game and will be reliant upon that utility.
Ooh, nice opening kill through big window for Always. Captures out Canadian on the Soul as being aggressive, as you typically want to be on that operator. Forward facing at the front contact, trying to get rid of those drones early, wanting to find a couple of kills. Pambazoo though, over towards Ego Belt. Can he find the trade? He overswings, expecting in the corner, but Always is in the off-angle position. Really well played there from Always, expecting that trade to come through from an aggressive DarkZero. Punishes that play. It's a 2-player advantage now for VP. Drop down from Joystick, and they get themselves closer towards site eventually. Of course, basement. Another hatch available to eventually drop through. Will blow up the Vulcan canister. And right now, for DarkZero, it's a question of do you bunker back down on site or opt to do what Pambazoo tried to do and go for a counterpunch?
Well, Nafe is still in pass. will have the ability to drop down the stairs if required, but may instead elect to lurk and perhaps even regress into dining. As you can see though, uncertainty based on his body language. Not entirely sure where these members VP are, and Joystick very much ready and waiting for a retake attempt from the defense. Drone to go deep then from Pasha, and one spotted blue. VP, I'm presuming off the back of clearing that canister earlier, we'll be going for that wine cellar plant just right at the breach.
Really showing the respect here to DarkZero that they know they can't just rush in, get the job done. Capitao as well, sending out the incendiary bolts. Smokes, gone 6, blow that up. Pasha now comes to plan a default. Bees are buzzing as well, which should deny any kind of push from DarkZero. Beaulo can't really make a step forward. Nice kills over towards that front door exit as well from Always onto Nave. Suddenly NJR in a 1 versus 5. The clutch ability factor of NJR is pretty good, but in a 1 versus 5, it's always going to be quite difficult. And a really, really well-worked round from Virtus Pro from start to finish, and it's flawless. Canadians, obviously, as you said, got that game sense to be able to probably still play for that position fine. Ideally, you want to hold on to it for as long as possible. The Nitro Cell from Barstock over towards half-wall default, obviously, is quite strong. Virtus Pro, though, very much going for this full sweep across. We saw them open up Snow. Now they're going over towards Solar and Bedroom. Joystick on the repel in. Maybe anticipating DarkZero to get really aggressive on the roam, which, for some reasons, they certainly are. Nave all the way down below. Beaulo's still around Library Stairs. So far, the issue for me for Virtus Pro here is time. 60 seconds left, and it's still a 5 versus 5. Pasha, only just now, off of some ping information towards top Library Stairs, is starting to try and flush out Beaulo.
Yeah, good flash onto Beaulo, forces him down. But will time become the enemy of the attack as it begins now to really trickle down? Players on site not under a whole lot of pressure. The attack's still relatively static. Joystick will show some initiative, however. With the Bailiff, he creates some vert in towards that B objective. But how will the rest of the attack form around this? Control up above now, of course. 30 seconds, though, on the clock. And I can't help but feel that this is going to be a very challenging conclusion to the round for VP.
20 seconds left. Shepard has the kit, so keep an eye on where he's going to be playing in terms of trying to get that plant down. Right now, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Again, the time, though, a massive factor. Drop down from Shepard. Is this going to be a bar plant? It very well might. Makes his way in very slowly, crouching in, and goes for plant behind said bar. No trade yet. DarkZero can't really get out of bar stock because of Dan's angle. Great shot from NJR. The plant goes down. Pamperzoo came in on the flank. Late, though, in the piece, and Canadian wants to get straight on it. But Pasha's got an angle from above, through the hatch. He's able to watch this. This is a real retake scenario now for DarkZero. They need to go above. Someone has to go above. But probably all of them have to go above. Got to get moving, and Canadian keeps trying to just get on the kit. Double stack over towards Fireplace Stairs. One down, NGR back up, 20 seconds. Guys are going to get moving, and they should know where Pasha is. They are, indeed, of full understanding as to where Pasha is. Really well worked from DarkZero, and they get the counter defuse in the end, 4-4. But my goodness, there were some worrying signs. Canadian kept trying to just get on it. They could never really find a good position because of the vert angles from up above. Over towards Library Stairs, holding a key pillar in terms of a position on this map.
A huge emphasis inside of Office here from DarkZero, with the lines of sight that they have facing down below and towards the objective.
Well,
Canadian, once again, falls early into the piece. That will again bolster the ability of Virtus Pro to gather information. Fortunately, it is the Brava traded out, so I suppose in one way or another, not awful a DZ, although still not ideal. Joystick on the solo repel, seeing if maybe he can apply pressure in towards that position. Minute 20 now on the clock. Pasha will come alongside, and this is a pretty typical play that we see at the moment. The Hive launcher to create a bit of space and prevent the defense from denying this repel in.
Yeah, really difficult. You don't really want to push through. Pamperzoo, though, good angle, holding trophy stairs. I'm not sure if Pasha was aware that Pamperzoo was holding this close angle. He gets the kill, denied entry, and especially as the Hive launcher has been used, running out of charges, in fact, gone now for Joystick, makes it really annoying for Virtus Pro that they can't really flush out some of these positions, especially Closet, which is what Nafe is currently holding. They would have liked to have been able to clear that out with said Hive launcher, can no longer. And now down a player as well. Incendiary from Shepard. Well, Pamperzoo hasn't really been cleared. He's been holding the same position anyway. That bolt basically has done nothing. Oh, there's 3 in the round. Pamperzoo A big difference maker here for DarkZero on the defense, making sure that that solo push from Virtus Pro was not going to happen. Getting 3 very important kills, holding down the portion of the map where VP wanted to enter from. Down to just Shepard and Always. 10 seconds remaining and Always getting shot at straight away. Understanding that there's one looking at his angle through the foothold, and that's NJR, who still knows he's behind the barricade. He should be good for a second to close this one out. Indeed he is. Again, more high impact kills from NJR to win the round for DarkZero. He's going to go down early on the solos, but look at the drone economy. Well done, right? Virtus Pro's only got 3 drones remaining at the 2-minute and 10-second mark. So you need to be aggressive on that solos. You can't just be sitting on site. And Canadian's obviously the one that has to take those fights and has to make sure he tries to stay alive while getting rid of these drones. Low on health for the remainder of the round, so now obviously can't get too overly aggressive from here on out, but job done. Virtus Pro making the entry in as Dan over towards piano side. Of course, this is a basement site, but they are going for that top floor clear, utilizing the Jackal to help facilitate that.
Still remnants of the roam here, though, from DarkZero.
There's 2 drones left. They're going to have no info on site.
Yeah, with Pampa falling off. Canadian, though, is still inside of bar, so that's something to keep our eyes on. You can see the line through the wall, the outline. With the drone economy low! Canadian's position should not be known, but Shepard will still hit a very clean shot through the front door to give his team the advantage. Next step will be clearing some utility, clearing key positions. Boiler room here being held by NJR with the shotgun up close. This could be a challenge. Pamba's been given an opportunity though to re-aggress, and if he can time this flank well, there's an opportunity for him to catch VP off guard.
Between the work the Canadian was able to do on the Solus, along now with Pampazoo on the Vigil, this is going to be quite interesting to see for Virtus Pro. Not really a whole lot of information, just forcing that swing onto NJR, and they do get the down Always. Despite the smoke, despite the obscuring of the vision, he does get that kill. Opens up that boiler position for Virtus Pro. Up above, Pampazoo on the Vigil, just caught napping. Dan was watching for the flank. And it's fallen apart defensively for DarkZero. Virtus Pro have been able to just slice them apart on this particular site. It's all down to Beaulo. There's 2 for good measure to make it a 1 versus 3. But he's low on health, in a difficult position. Rotates away, trying to see if he can catch one on the vert. Can he make it a 3rd? No, he can't. Always up close. Beaulo, for just a brief second, maybe thought he could make something miraculous happen. Canadian trying to get aggressive over towards West Main, still trying to get rid of these drones. 5 on the board this time for Virtus Pro. So VP's done a much better job. Understanding the Solus is a huge factor in play the last couple of rounds. So clearly putting a large emphasis on keeping those drones alive. Beaulo, though, sensing the pressure. While double swing on his position, not much more he could really do. He got essentially hunted down, but they lose the Warden. At this point in the round, 35 seconds left, and now there's no Warden on the board. What can Canadian do inside of Dining? He's the flank option now.
Yeah, double smokes from Dan, triple flash from Pasha. So losing that Warden could hurt big time for DZ. 20 seconds. Pasha should be caught off guard. Canadian has a read. Doesn't matter. Canadian wins that fight.
That's absolutely huge. Now he can retake in as well from piano side, going in towards library. If VP still have members up above, they should be wary though. And the swing onto Canadian does come through from the mezzanine. Very low. Pings towards library stairs. The Earth not mine as well. But DZ have found kills on site, and time has run out for Virtus Pro. Canadian was a nuisance, and those on site were stalwart in their defense for DarkZero. Map point for DZ on Chalet.
Shepard now with a shock drone in towards the objective. Able though to stamp that out. There's 20 then on the clock, and decent work down below here from Always on that sledge. Fenrir mines have been pinged out, and you can see through multiple layers of floor, he's seeing if he is able to deal with those. Magnets also in play from Pamba. That's in an attempt to fortify the Solar Stairs position. Back to Shepard then, and he's looking to clear even more utility. Unfortunately though for him, that reign of terror on the shock drone put to rest with the mute jammer. Time then continuing to tick down. Virtus Pro have not shied away from taking their time in gathering as much info as they possibly can.
Deploying magnet.
Silence across the map then. Pamba spotted out. Of course, wary of the pinch from behind, but able to escape that position. It should now be vacated for Virtus Pro to take that space, but instead they elect to hold back. Being patient here and not wanting to make any mistakes on the final round of regulation. Pamba then will continue to hold bathroom. Backs away in towards Piano then. Joystick to push forward. He's the first to initiate the push for Virtus Pro. Over 60 seconds then remains in the round. Only 4 kills for the Cyborg on this map thus far. Pasha to hold his flank and always now to double down. Able to establish some vertical supremacy with that sledgehammer. DarkZero not feeling a whole load of pressure though at this point of the round. And for Virtus Pro, they need to do a better job at dislodging this defense as DarkZero continue to hold really key positions. Nafe half wall, Canadian mezzanine. And with 30 seconds on the clock, this should be a DarkZero round unless Virtus Pro can make something magical happen. Dan's trying to catch somebody off guard, but DarkZero not providing anything for free. It is the Canadian to fall first. NJR elsewhere to find a pick, and Nafe as well. Now 3 versus 3. Always to go for the plant, but denial up above from Nafe. DarkZero only a moment away from taking their map pick in this best of 3. Pasha will need to pull off something very special as he looks to retake through Solar, but DarkZero able to confirm that round. And map 1 going the way of North Americans.
Dan obviously trying to be oppressive inside of server, but at some point you probably just have to give this position up. Try and hold an angle where you can then get the second player trying to push him behind the shield on the Montaigne. That's exactly what he's trying to do now. Making it difficult to get that cross to happen. Vulcan Canister got blown up nice and early in the round as well in terms of time denial. Dan still holding these aggressive angles. Nice little tap on to Beaulo, gets him low. Beaulo and Canadian both half health for the remainder of this round. More drones to come through. Never mind, Beaulo just got absolutely sat down by Dan. Lovely tap headshot here from the Goyo. And it does give Virtus Pro an advantage to begin. Live drone for Nafe down blue stairs. Of course, they've already got server control now. And it's a triple stack through blue for the side of DarkZero. It does make this quite one-dimensional. And JR over towards open area. Looking down the hatch and has got himself into a position. Of course, does need to be mindful of any kind of main stairs flank through Beepers later in the round. Not sure if that will come through from VP. They're pretty happy with the way they've got things set up right now.
Very much feels like basement bank of old. The attack stacks inside of server and 1 lurker and NJR up above. It's Dan in red though to hold down the line with the shotgun. Taking a stack of damage as he looks to pepper away at those Goyo canisters over time and deny the space for DarkZero, who are patient on the attack. But it does mean though they'll need to be perfect from this point onwards. Any more mistakes, especially in the 4 versus 5, will be punished by Virtus Pro.
Yeah, a little double up there. So Vulcan Canister blown, along with the gas pipe. Canadian has slipped in, not being denied here, and I think he's got a good opportunity to stick this the whole way, unless Shepard can hit it. No, he cannot. DarkZero through Canadian have been able to get the plant down. Virtus Pro allowing this despite so much utility in the form of the gas babes. They had the Vulcan Canister, they had obviously the Yokai drone, and all of that. None of it then able to deny Canadian, who just slips in like a Montaigne and gets that plant down. NJR in a good position as well. Understanding, of course, for Virtus Pro, they're going to want to try and come flush out his position towards open. They need to retake above. They do so successfully through Pasha from Beepers. Another one over towards Staff Room as well for DarkZero. Is Pasha aware of this? He is now. Stands up headshot. Suddenly now, time though, the biggest thing. What a shot from Dan onto Nafe. Down to Canadian. He too falls, and Shepard was on it with time. In the end, Virtus Pro may have allowed the plant, but they got the retake.
VP, I'm sure, will be pretty content and looking to play late into the round, much like we saw in basement.
Long desk control from Pamba. This is, as you said, traditional approach from DarkZero so far. But with that approach, VP have kind of given them the respect, dropping down, giving up top floor control. Obviously here for Staff Room and open area into the second round, and over still 60 seconds more than enough time remaining for DZ, and especially now with Pampers on that buck using the skeleton key to open up these floorboards over towards Stock, over towards Janitor, with the pressure now for those on site, 4 of which are on site for VP. Dan though over towards Archives is a factor. And actually, no, he's not even Archives. He's even further down below, all the way towards basement. Shot though through the hatch. His position now rightfully known. And you can see for the rest of VP, though, all very much on site, waiting for this attack from DarkZero.
Secondary hard breach on the wall. Quad wall that is bot square, but always with the impacts in response. Able to deal with the first. Now 1 in the pocket for Canadian, but also 1 in the pocket for Always. He'll have to pick his mark. The secondary to the right, exothermic to the left. He picks the ladder, but still now that position exposed.
Beaulo was able to deal with Dan down below, so they deal with the lurk roam in basement. 20 seconds left. Nath getting the Roteros out. Beaulo with a team kill. Not sure how that happened, but he ended up taking out Canadian. Always then with a double. Little bit of a messy round to close this out here in the second on bank. Flash from Pambazoo. Doesn't get the player close angled left. Prone, Shepard, one gas babe, and he's just hiding. He's full white though, went a little early. Nicely done from NJR, and 1 versus 1, time the biggest backed up, but Pambazoo doesn't need the time, finds the kill in the nick of time.
Canadian will make the call, and I anticipate the push will follow. He'll look to just gain a little bit more information that can be relayed to the team, but now seems content that the push can come through.
Double stack over towards front desk from the side of VP, although it was actually Dan losing his life from that very position at hands of NJR. 55 seconds left. Nath making good work over towards top square. Again, looking to contest Pasha here through that stock hallway. Shield is still up, makes it difficult. Initially, that flash in towards Janitor, though. He's playing by himself, so this becomes a quite big battle. Nath in 1 versus 1 against Pasha, despite that shield being up, despite the fact that Always is inside a Janitor, he still wins it. And Always never even went for that trade. He's holding the position to deny the repel. Canadian on said repel, losing his life. Full wipe for Always. Can he survive? Somehow! Despite the fact that all he was seeing was nothing but white, Nave can't push in, get that kill. It becomes a 3 versus 3. Beaulo has to recover the kit outside, and Pambazoo does take stock hallway. Big position, but loses immediately to Shepard. What a round that is currently playing out. Time a big factor. Beaulo's been able to repel into sight. Will start to stick down to joystick. Can he deny? In a 1 versus 2, pushes out. Player long desk goes for the run, goes for the deny. The Nitrocell doesn't hit the mark because NJR denies. And he saves Beaulo. He saves DZ. And they take a second round on bank.
But again, though, for DarkZero shaping up for probably a push directly inside of server, Pasha needs to be mindful as the flash comes through, but able to escape back towards site. So quick control here from DarkZero. Pamba doing a really good job to already get bot blue control.
Yeah, I think that's the key there from DarkZero. The fact that they were able to send Pambazoo down blue stairs, and then that really kind of made that server hold for Virtus Pro essentially ineffectual. They had to fall back at that point, otherwise they were going to get completely pinched and already open up this wall. Pressure mounting from DarkZero. Where's the response from Virtus Pro? Will they look to go and try and send someone, say, square side, come in on the backside of blue stairs? Obviously, for DarkZero, we'll have flank watch, and it is an opening kill from Pasha. Needed that one on the Aruni. Beaulo losing his life there on the Thermite, opening up the walls, but Pasha finds the kill from the loading dock inside a garage. And suddenly, we kind of go back a deja vu to the last time we saw lockers in CTTV with Dan inside a red, Canadian on the Montang. It's all quite same. Will we have the same outcome though? Well, remains to be seen.
NJR once again up above, and if the plant goes down, he'll play a pivotal role in the post. But that may not come into fruition because Dan inside of red is farming. Canadian will back in towards the objective. The plant comes out, but eventually denied. 45 seconds then on the clock, and Virtus Pro continue to chip away at this attack. DarkZero looking to double down around the Monty once more through server. Virtus Pro even more proficient in denying that play. Shepard with one more yokai will be able to deny the plant once more alongside the smoke canister from Always, who still has one in the pocket. With 30 seconds on the clock, DarkZero will not be able to win this round. Virtus Pro should be evening up the scoreline unless Canadian and Pamba can pull off an absolute miracle. Won't be the case though.
15 seconds.
No,
Pamba's up above.
That's a forfeit there from Pambazoo, understanding they've been outdone defensively there by Virtus Pro. Really nicely done from VP. Firstly, in the initial hold towards server as they get the final kill through joystick for that flawless round.
Give calls and information to the rest of the team. Likewise, I do like the Maestro pick here as well from VP. They've been leaning into typically that or the Echo so far. Maestro with the added benefit of being able to chip away at the drone economy of DarkZero as well.
Yeah, pretty similar hold as last time out for VP. Good news for DarkZero is they've won every other site outside of basement, so this is where they can shine. Now that lockers and CCTV has been locked away for the remainder of this half, can they continue to find success up above? Oh, well, NJR catches Dan just, though, momentarily after Dan was already able to get the kill onto Pambazoo. And that's a pretty big kill. I think that's a win more so for Virtus Pro because you get rid of the Buck. And the Buck can do a lot of work once top floor control is established in opening up stock, in opening up long desk, and opening up positions like Janitor, for example. And so therefore, there's a little bit less offensive power now from DarkZero. But Nave finds a kill onto Pasha, and so that probably offsets the loss of Pambazoo. Anyway, Canadian steps up, but he cannot clear out stock. Joystick on the water now drops, losing a lot of life, but he stays alive. 3 versus 3, under 90 seconds left in the round, and only just now DarkZero can start to get this top floor control, as Virtus.pro concede it and now hold sight.
Yeah, and any opportunity for DZ to play around with that OSO and opening up some playmaking positions now will no longer be the case. Beaulo still has 3 summers in hand, so there may be a push through bot square late, but I think his attention's drawn elsewhere at the moment. Still plenty of time available though, 60 seconds on the clock. Nave can get to work with those Otero drones to create some lines of sight, flushing out the defense and perhaps capturing utility on that quad wall. Maybe a mute jammer or 2 from Shepard, but should be pretty easy to deal with those. Still hard breach in the hands of NJR as well. Can't look past that. 2 exothermics available to him. So there's every world in which DarkZero can expose these defenders on the objective, but they'll need to hit some sharp shots to ensure they capture the kills.
Beaulo trying to open up the quad inside of Electrical at the moment. 30 seconds left. We have all 3 remaining players for VP sitting in sight, sitting over towards that position all together. They've got themselves a good spot in terms of crossfire angles. No real solo positions for VP defensively, so it does mean for DarkZero, if you kind of push him by yourself, if you go a little bit early here, before everyone else, you probably lose your life. Always with a good angle. Flashes to come through. Are they successful? Always off that angle. Does find a kill. Shepard 2. And these little solo pushes from DZ fall flat on its face. They spent so much time trying to open up these walls, trying to open up these sightlines, deal with the utility. The time became a factor. They ran out of it. And in the end, Virtus.pro hold strong on defense, on site, and they get themselves a lead on bank. Yeah,
the rest of the team gets to work.
Double stack over towards front there. So there's no real kind of defense from Virtus.pro down below. Hence why Pambazoo is able to do what he pleases over towards Archives down on that that first floor. Minute 12 seconds.
Well, they've dumped utility again into Jan. This time it's the Hive Launcher and not the asphyxiating bolts from the Capitale, but we need to see DarkZero actually play off this, right? There's no one inside of Janitor at the moment, and arguably this is a good opportunity to gather some control or maybe make a play, but they're quite static at the moment on the attack.
It always was forced to drop down that hatch. It does mean Janitor's quite vulnerable, though. Pushed away and yellow pinged out. Does get the down. So always is eliminated out of the game. And so is Dan as well from NJR. So now it's an advantage for DarkZero. Looking to do what they did back on Chalet. Close out the half, forcing that 3-3 scoreline, not allowing Virtus.pro to get a 4. Pasha now feeling as if he has to hold a different position, maybe feeling as if that stock hallway position is now very much under threat. 20 seconds, it probably comes down to, can they deny the plant? Can they deny Canadian on the rappel? That becomes a huge win condition now for Virtus.pro. Pasha cannot survive. He gets completely overwhelmed as Pambazoo and Nate made their way in top square. There's only one left, it's Shepard. And all he can do now is hope to deny Canadian. He can't because Nate was watching. And DarkZero again break the heart to Virtus.pro as they did back on Chalet. To close the first half, they do so here on Bank 3-3, and at no point have VP been able to separate from DarkZero. For Virtus.pro, these next rounds, this half becomes essential. Looking to send us to Skyscraper if necessary for a third map. Their attack now put to the test on Bank. DarkZero already showed back on Chalet they have a very strong defense. This is not going to be light work for Virtus.pro. They are the underdogs, well and truly, now here on Bank. Easy, the favorites to close this out. We'll see whether or not they can do that. This time it's Nafe on the Solar. So it's Canadian's job back on Chalet. Nitrosol perfect though. Well, he's on the pulse. And he finds a kill. His first kill of this game. But what an impactful one onto the Buck of Joystick. Again, the Buck is just so strong in a map like Bank. You get rid of a player. You have that advantage. Always is low on health outside of the map. This is not a good start for VP.
Let's see if they can recover the round though. Dan with some top square control, and Pasha up the DMR is able to seek out Canadian and find that here. We'll continue his push forward and just making sure that no one on the defense really aggresses up top blue. As VP slowly chip away at this map control, it is NJR on that stairs position. No real incentive for him to push up, but Amber's actually found himself inside of Printer now. Open area. This is a big playmaking position for Pamba, but elects to play safe and drops down.
Sensor on.
Nafe just holding that position in elevator for the time being. Can drop if he does get droned out, of which there's only 2 remaining, by the way. In terms of that economy, absolutely shattered again. We saw it back on Chalet where Canadian did such a good job on the Solus. Now it's Naif on the Solus. And he too also is making Virtus Pro struggle to get this information later in the round. 60 seconds left, and what will they be able to gain in terms of info? Over towards Admin to open up that hatch with the secondary hard breach. Will do so successfully as Dan makes the drop down into server. They haven't even really got these walls opened up either and won't be able to. Well, never mind, they will because they've got Always, and this one's been left soft as well. Mind you, it doesn't really matter because NJR with those gas babes will be able to deny the plant inside of default if it does come through. Dan trying to hold an angle to see if anyone wishes to peek, if anyone wishes to make their presence known. Lovely red ping onto NJR. That felt like a little moment there where VP needed to get that kill. Because now he's still alive and he still has 2 gas babes.
15 seconds then on the clock. Shepard back into the default plant position, but another smoke canister will make it very, very challenging. Beaulo, though, now left all alive in the 1 versus 3. Can Beaulo win this out? It's Shepard to go for the plant. Dan to cover Beaulo! 3 is the round, and he's been able to do it! Beaulo is back, baby! And silencing Virtus Pro. What a way to kick off the defensive half here for DarkZero. Huge play. VP, though, respond here on the attack. They'll kick things off with pressure over towards CEO. Partial to drone forward with the shock drone.
Well, this is where now for Virtus Pro, when it comes to them, mental dexterity and their fortitude and resilience, how thick is their skin? After a round like that, you know, it's very easy to facepalm, slouch in your chair, go back, think, oh my goodness, we're on a montage reel. But you have to stay locked in and focused. It's only 3-4. Your attacks have been okay for the most part throughout this series. Nothing to suggest that they can't bring this back. It's only a 1-round deficit. And you were very close to being able to win that round on a Locker's CCTV site. But have to keep the mental focus for Virtus Pro here. That's just 1 round. It's gone. Forget about it. Forget about the first map, don't you? And a nice little red ping information here. Good pop square control from Dan. And a little bit of damage onto Pamper, so he's taking quite low. Pasha, the F not mine. And a player to his right. He was red pinged, had the information, along with a call out, but he's just shot so quickly by Canadian. He never even got a chance to take that swing the way he would have wanted to. Advantage DarkZero is joystick in towards airlock, but he's losing that battle too. All these little 1v1s, these little coin flip moments going the way of DarkZero. Naif is strong, holds his position in a steadfast angle, and Dan now goes up to try and salvage it for Virtus Pro.
I mean, they have a flush lead defenders. Dan does have a read over towards front desk. He wins this. It might make things interesting, but he's taken very low, and DarkZero now have fortified their positions on site. Time does remain here for Virtus Pro, but it's going to be a challenge. Reaching charges in the pockets of a couple of these players to create lines of sight. Though at this point of the round, I don't think that will be too impactful. Looking at the outlines as well, Canadian is lurking bot blue stairs, a position so commonly flanked by the defense. So Dan needs to be so mindful of that. Bot quad wall opened up, but DarkZero with some really strong positions.
20 seconds is all that remains in this round. DarkZero, can they get themselves up to 5-3? Or can Virtus Pro finally go and clutch a round out? It feels like forever since we've seen them be able to do that. Not a lot of time, but a drop down is successful from Always. Spray over towards blue is sensational from Dan. Talk about game sense, but where's that kid? They don't need it. Dan shot through the softball, gets the kill onto NJR.
To win Six Invitational, they haven't quite had it in them to get it across the line. Could this perhaps be the tournament for them? Oh, they want to continue the run through the upper bracket, bolster their chances. And to do so, I need to continue this run here on bank. Round 9 we go, and the shock drones to go deep from Pasha. Good information gathered. I presume Pamba has seen that in response though, so he should be able to swiftly deal with those drones. But if they can capitalize off this info, VP should be in good standing. Red pings to come through, and oddly enough, it is that Solus pinged out, but Dan caught off guard. It's NJR down below on what is a rather obscure objective choice.
Shepard looking for all that response, didn't quite come through. Nape a little bit damaged up, but he's okay for the most part. Oh, never mind. As soon as he made that drop down, and Shepard was aware he was shooting at him while he was up above. So could not make the rotate back, unfortunately for Naif's sake, especially on the Warden. Could be a factor here. 60 seconds remains for what's shaping up again to be another close encounter between these two teams, where it does feel like these little moments are going to separate them. NJR with a nice little peek from Square's side onto Always gets him low, gets him vulnerable, and gets him second guessing here.
45 seconds then. Canadian probing around, will reposition over towards main stairs. May look to lean into his yokais late into the piece, and he'll trade positions with Panda. Time again could perhaps become an issue for Virtus Pro. They continue to leave the execute very deep into the round, meaning that there's very few opportunities to make mistakes, of course. 20 seconds then, diffuser recovered. And these players on site not under as much pressure, I think, as Virtus Pro would like. NJR's toes not exposed, and he's in a really good spot now.
10 seconds remaining in the round, and NJR has been spotted. That good spot, no more. He goes down. That gives VP a real good look in with Shepard. Can he get the Talon shield down? Plus the plant. He's got to go quick. Forget the shield. Just get the plant down. Canadian should deny and will deny. Game sense of old, and it makes an impactful moment again for DarkZero. Again, late in these rounds, it always has been DarkZero in this series. Virtus Pro, despite even having the numbers advantage, still succumb. Still fall short. And it's DZ off the back of that Virtus Pro timeout that come away with the round win. 5-4 is now the lead. Just under 90 seconds left still in that 5 versus 5. And while it's not a match point round, it kind of has that same feeling to it. Joystick opens up stock, drop down. No one there to meet him though initially. No real response here from DZ up above. At this point in the round, they're more than happy to place sight. You've got the smoke, you've got the yokai from the Echo, the Vulcan canisters, time denial aplenty, and the Warden as well for any kind of attack towards the site more directly. But it's a triple stack square and server side from Virtus Pro. All of their eggs are in one basket unless someone goes for a flank, either elevator or main stairs. Vulcan canister blown up, fire aplenty, and now time for the gas babes from NJR. 2 more remaining with 40 seconds left in the round.
Always to perhaps go for the first plant attempt. He'll turn around, hold that F key. Let's see if DZ deny.
He does get denied immediately. NJR has one more gas bait, but he's dead. No more. Big Nate from Den suddenly gives an avenue for Virtus Pro. Always. Where's that yokai? It burst. It's good. Always denied. Can there be a shot out from Dan? Losing his life to Pampazoo. Now Always, can he stick it? Yes, he can, just momentarily. And Shepard's able to help out. Canadian then gets the kill, the flush on the Pampazoo. But don't let it be twisted. It was predominantly Shepard. Now they need to go above, but already there is Pasha, denying that main stairs push. And it's only Canadian. In a 1 versus 4 through the barbed wire of main stairs, one to meet him at Beepers, wants to go for the revive to help out in terms of numbers for the side of DarkZero. They've got the double swing, but he doesn't check left side of the hallway, and Pasha was able to deny the retake immediately. Despite the yokai, the burst being successful first time around, unfortunately for DarkZero, they ran out of plant denial, and eventually that plant went down. Virtus Pro in position to deny the retake. 5-5. We are tied here on Bank.
Again, with last time I'm back to the previous round, and even prior to that as well, where it was actually successful, the Echo has been very impactful in this particular match. Shock drone's available as well for Pasha on the Twitch, and he can shoot away at those F-Not mines on the Fenrir. And if those yokais are located, he'll be able to deal with those too. But it's Amber to deal with Always, and that will limit the hard breach potential for this attack.
Yeah, that's Kit down as well. Pampazoo from long desk getting that kill. A bit of a repel pressure from Virtus Pro, losing Always, as he said. Hard breach gone. They do still have secondary hard breaches available through Shepard, but doesn't quite replace the Selmas initially. Dan getting to work, continuing over towards top square, dealing with some of these gadgets. 90 seconds is all that remains in the round. Virtus Pro finding it difficult to get a large amount of this map control with still good pressure up above from DarkZero. Only just now has Beaulo dropped from stock in towards open, leaving that shield in the hallway position. DarkZero feel as if they've done enough when it comes to that top floor hold. They got it killed. Now they can fall back, hold sight, and play for the long game. Up to Virtus Pro to try and change the fortunes of this round, but right now it's all leading into one direction, and that direction is DarkZero getting themselves into a serious point scenario. 60 seconds is all that remains.
Again, with that hard breach limited though for Virtus Pro, I don't think a push through bot square will be the play. Secondary hard breach available for Shepard, but he's rotating front door as Pasha now drops down below. So they may look to concoct something using main stairs. Maybe force their way through tellers and archives, potentially.
I think they're hunting Canadian.
Probably not the worst of decisions.
Got to go quick, though. Might not be a bad decision right now from Pasha, but it's all about the timing of it. Default left up, no one watching it. Inside of the hatch! Hollow, here comes Pampazoo! Maybe anticipating that push from down below helps out Canadian. Joystick, though, from above. One on the stairwell. Who's going to win this one? Not watching, though, was Pampazoo looking towards Beepers. Did not anticipate the joystick was already there. Now, mind you, Canadian is still down below. Flashing himself. Shepard, though, the incendiary bolt towards main stairs. Down with a good kill. On to Beaulo. Plant needs to go down safely, cannot be denied. Canadian the one to watch here, maybe on the Yokais, not sure if there are any in place, don't think so, and the plant does not get denied. And suddenly, Canadian and Nafe, in a 2-on-3 retake, the joystick go towards Beepers, and they are double stack pushing up main.
And they have a read. Canadian now 1 versus 2. A challenge, limited info, pushes forward, shut down. A phenomenal attack from Virtus Pro. And heading into this game, Teller's Archives only played twice at the event so far. So an objective that Virtus Pro on attack likely not particularly familiar with. But perhaps they've learned some lessons from their last attempt where Canadian, playing that Echo to perfection, was able to deny plant. Virtus Pro took a long time to wind up that attack. So that's something they'll be focusing on here, is cleaning that up. And for the impact trick on the wall to fortify position inside of Janitor. Nafe elsewhere under fire. He'll survive. Thumb was in response. The two-barrel play, really good there from DZ. Another impact trick. Another Zoto canister to follow. So the counterplay here from DarkZero, and the utility is on point.
Beaulo won his 1v1 towards that stock hallway, keeping that position alive. Zoto canisters being thrown out by NJR in terms of stalling out. And always, obviously trying to get this vert established in towards above site now, above archives.
And Dan dying first is so devastating. Look at that defensive lineup. The IQ here is so valuable for Virtus Pro. This is going to be a very difficult round to recover.
They do get the kill onto Nafe, who's got a bit more quiet here on bank. 6 and 11, so he's been flushed out of front desk. Minute left, and this vert has been established. Now, Virtus Pro can look to put pressure on archives along with Towers, and through the floorboard always. What a sensational game he's had, and he shuts down NJR. The Zoto canisters were already utilized, so job done from the tuber out. 45 seconds left. Is this another Beaulo moment? Canadian with the Yokai. Pampazoo has already had some big kills as well, but down a player. The numbers disadvantage. The biggest factor right now is Pampazoo goes hunting through server.
Up through blue now, but there's a drone and a barricade in his way. Plant now 2 go down. Can Canadian deny?
He looks like he's getting himself into position. Always, this is going to be close. He does deny. But Shepard got the kill onto Pampazoo. Canadian can only do so much more in trying to deny this. Always straight back on it. Beaulo needs to get going. Get close enough. Takes the battle from below in terms of this vert. Plant down successfully. And now Beaulo has position known inside of towers. Canadian coming up blue stairs. Beaulo gets flushed out from joystick. And Virtus Pro now on the verge of sending us to Skyscraper. Indeed they do. So strong and resilient. DarkZero, at many times in this match, in this series, looked like they were going to run away with it. Beaulo clutch or not, the response comes from Virtus Pro, 7-5, and we go to a third map. Obviously saw the MP get thrown over towards Evil Eye. Pasha makes his way in as well on the balcony, outside of this kitchen position for Virtus Pro. I don't know why I was about to say for DarkZero. Canadian holding up above. And interestingly enough as well, not a Tea Room Karaoke start. It is going to be off as an exhibition. Tea Room Karaoke, typically like the first choice option, if you will, for teams defensively on this map. Drone shot out. Only 5 now remaining on the side of Virtus Pro.
Pretty big extension here from DarkZero deep in towards T, as opposed to perhaps being a little bit more restrained through Throne and Drum. Canadian to contest. Gives the call to Pamper, who's able to sweep up. Beaulo drops down as well. So the extension / roam from DarkZero proving to be a success. VP on a map where, again, statistically they haven't been great. Fortunately, not off the best of starts.
Yeah, no. I mean, to be fair, DarkZero getting in their face nice and early, and again, but this time shut down. Always with a good shot onto Canadian. does at least open things up ever so slightly for VP. Looking for this sweep across push now from T-Room Karaoke side. Shepard has droned out Drum, which is uncontested. So is the mezzanine. Does mean, of course, DarkZero have fallen back over the site. We can see that there with the overhead. Close by to Joystick, though. NJR over towards Dragon. Same with Pambazoo. Joystick, obviously, now making his way towards this direction. Really doesn't have much to aid for himself in terms of helping clear this. It's a dry swing. Dry peak, but only 35 seconds left. You don't have many other choices remaining in the round for Virtus Pro. Shepard has the kit, but he still finds himself over towards T-Room, a long way away from sight. Yellow ping comes out. Joystick must find something here, but no reason to swing or peek from Pambazoo. And he has NJR close by, and it can be a double swing. That is successful. NJR losing his life by Shepard. Again, with the kit in hand, he must not fall here, and does not. 2 versus 2, but needs to push into sight and get the plant down. Always is there to cover. The red ping now from Beaulo. Can he get involved? He certainly should be able to with the impacts and the double red pings. Plant going down next to him. Nitro Cell thrown out. Does not deny Shepard, but it's an easy push at that point in the 2 versus 1. And a really strong start now from DarkZero to open things up on Skyscraper. It is looking like it'll be pretty direct and also vert in nature. We're not really seeing Virtus Pro positioning towards Office and Exhibition. There's a lot more on that first floor over towards Kitchen and Barbecue. Geisha window opened up as well. So I think the plan right now for VP is very much going to hit site. They're not going to clear out drums, not going to clear out the mezzanine. And Joystick now making his way in. Top black stairs. Smoke goes out, and they've got the rotate hole as well in towards Karaoke. The Repel 2 to come through with the also Talon shield by Shepard. The kit in hand and trying to find a way to now get this plant down successfully. Again, they do have a bit of that vert. NJR losing his life to Joystick. Where's the deny going to come from now for DarkZero? It has to be this Nitro Cell, and it needs to be perfect, and it is. Perfectly placed by Naif with the throw, and now a recovery mission here for Virtus Pro to get that kit and get it down. And Canadian lurks down below.
Phenomenal job there from DarkZero, relaying information that the plant was going down, and the denial hits the spot. Canadian still down below. He too with a Nitro Cell in pocket.
Oh, he spotted him.
Shots to come through with the MPX, good for one, but now it's Joystick to hunt him down. Blitz shield in the face of the Valk. Finds that trade. 50 seconds in a 3v3.
Makes it a little bit more easier to now recover that diffuser. No real vert option here for DarkZero. Looking at it from below. Always gets another one. Oh, they actually going to trade. What a quick little trade between Always and Pambazoo. Pasha pushes through, gets the kill onto Beaulo, lane prone. 2 versus 1, down to Naif. 30 seconds left, goes with the diffuser as Naif wins that one. And it's all down to the blitz of Joystick. Hunting him down, quite literally running at Naif. Goes for the pistol shot through the doorway. He is low, very low. And Joystick will get it done with the pistol. Who needs the shield anyway? What a round from Joystick and what a round for Virtus Pro.
And not much in the way of map control. Slowly now just filtering through for the clear. But going in blind. DarkZero from this position. Yes, it's a 5 versus 5, but they will be able to play realistically any position to catch the attack off guard. Canadian still gathering more information. And knows that this push through drum will come in a moment. The Rooney Gates just stall it out for a moment, but it is Dan the first to fall. So this is going to be tough for Virtus Pro, even more so at the man disadvantage.
Yeah, again, no information, dry swinging, understanding, yeah, there might be some members of DZ around these choke point areas like Drum. They just don't have the information. Down 2 players now. A very strong defensive round from DarkZero, but Canadian caught close by on the stairs, and a nice little shoulder peek from Joystick eventually gets the spot, then the kill. Job done, though, from Canadian, considering there's only been 1 drone remaining inside of the map for basically the last 30 seconds, with 30 seconds to go. Hive launcher now used by Shepard down the hallway. And Beaulo up close again, never got droned out because there's just no drones inside of the server. Joystick should be able to get this trade on the buck, opens up a side angle, but no, Beaulo's just too clinical. A real strong defensive round from DarkZero, denied map control, denied information. They were absolutely difficult to dislodge. Beaulo gets 3 to close it out, and DarkZero take the lead. As we see Joystick actually droning again, this does really feel like a very important part of the game. Canadian, despite not being on the solos, he's playing that mute. He's still playing that kind of role, denying these drones, denying information from across the other side of the map. Despite the fact it's Office and Exhibition, he finds himself open towards a T-Room and Karaoke position. At the moment, inside a T-Room.
Ready to breach.
Just flicking some cams, of course, placed by the Valkyrie. of Pambazoo. Always making his way up black stairs. Slow-paced push from Virtus Pro. Not really too surprising, though. They're a team that has roughly 1:30 on the entry time. So it's about this point in the round that we typically will see Virtus Pro start to really make their way and make some headway. Nitrocell don't even think that got that far. Certainly got nothing from it for Canadian, but a stand-up kill with the SMG-11 is absolutely pinpoint perfect. The headshot onto Always comes through. The ace is taken off the board. No response, at least not rapidly, either from Virtus Pro. And spending a lot of time trying to just deal with Canadian. And eventually, though, dealt with.
Yeah, decent clear there from Virtus Pro. That extension from DZ once more in towards D has bought them quite a bit of time. Canadian good for one, and despite falling, it now leaves only Virtus Pro with about a minute to make this push work. Amber, probably the next to play contact, as Dan is there holding the line currently. Do they have info on this Virtus Pro? You would presume there's a player in this position. Again, the flashes don't land. But the high launcher does. Pamba forced back.
Yeah, I like that, though, from Pamba. Fall back, got the rotate option anyway. Plays sight, there's 30 seconds left. Don't need to take contact at that point in the round. So far, this has been so clean from DarkZero. Earlier on from Canadian. Yeah, he lost his life, but it was job done. Denied a lot of time and position. Now Pambazoo gave up Dragon, but he can go for a flank option as well from the mezzanine. Caught is Dan. Because of Pambazoo's willingness to go for the rotate rather than holding the position towards Dragon, and DarkZero strangulating Virtus Pro right now here on Skyscraper. It's only Pasha. He got one kill, but it didn't matter because he was outgunned and outnumbered on site.
Well, it's taken 4 rounds as we enter the 5th. The IQ now enters the arena. We saw it on Bank, and it was pretty impactful in being able to deny the information gathering tools of DarkZero, which have persisted largely here into map 3. Naif on the Valk. No solo slow this time around for DarkZero. So Pasha not with quite as much necessarily to do, but needs to ensure that he is efficient. 5 drones taken down in the early portion of this round. Pamba doing a great job at farming those and holding this side of the map. It's a triple stack on the Bulk. Canadians down below with the Nitro, so keep an eye on him as well.
Yeah, I mean, close to a quad stack with how much pressure they're putting over towards this office side. Obviously, Canadian down below. Factor, you mind immediately on the entry. Oh, the Nitrocell. Just short of the mark. Yeah, a bit of damage onto Shepherd. Would have loved to have gotten that kill, though, for DZ. The sake, Canadian down below with that Nitrocell. Obviously, trying to play off of the sound cue. And another one thrown out as well towards that main bridge. But look at the pressure being applied right now. This is not even sight. Pasha also steps into another goo mine. Like, it is just impossible to enter the building. And that is what DarkZero are basically doing to Virtus Pro. Making it difficult to enter the building, despite the fact that they've even brought the Montag.
And VP haven't really shown a willingness to send a lurker down below, whether that be the likes of the Buck, the Bird up above, or just to try and capture any of these roamers on their venture back towards the objective. They simply haven't employed that. The DarkZero being allowed to get away with it. Good example there with Pamba dropping the hatch, getting back towards site uncontested, doesn't have to really worry about being cut off on that journey back. For Virtus Pro, they need to now be perfect elsewhere. Otherwise, they will ultimately be punished. Information still up. Frag grenade to try and deal with the BPC, but that does not land.
Not often you get to just watch that frag grenade just explode in front of the BPC. Bulletproof camera, of course. 45 seconds left, and again, not much headway made from BP. There were a couple of moments, though, back on Bank where they were able to win out these kind of rounds. Simply just by sheer aggression on site, pushing in, getting up a couple of really good headshots. Pre-plays from Naif. Down below, they... VP don't even really have much vert pressure either. It's all rather horizontal. The IQ does its job, though, to avoid with that Nitrocell. Understanding there is one playing down below. 20 seconds, though. Time, the biggest factor again. Always making the rappel in. Gasbabe immediately on his position, trying to play off of that Ossa towards Karaoke. That's the win condition right now for Virtus Pro. Always trying to get that plant. He was forced out momentarily through the rotate. He has to push forward. And it's the kills right now. Free-flowing kills from DarkZero. The round is over. It's a 4-1 lead for DarkZero. An onslaught here. Skyscraper defense proving to be too strong for Virtus Pro.
And if he can maybe find a Valk or two, that could change the tide of the round. BPC once again in position. Looking over this Valk. What's that? Canadian. So far, not bad from VP. Canadian tries, I think, to impact the bulletproof camera, but yeah, evidently that doesn't land.
Well, heavily required anyway to have gotten rid of that. really absolutely needed, but would have been nice. Obviously up to the clutch drone, did its job. A minute 20 remaining, final round of the half here. Every single map so far has been a 3-3. That will not be the case here. Back on Chalet and Bank, of course. DarkZero opting once again to play close to sight with the vert hold. Canadian outside in towards Bar, playing on this solos, but the drone game's been a little bit better this time around for Virtus Pro, able to keep the vast majority of their drones in play late into the piece. With under 60 seconds remaining, they still have 5 drones to utilize. And so that's already a big improvement from Virtus Pro. But alas, they've still not been able to get any kills from having these drones, but a little bit more pressure onto Canadian as he gets pinged out. And dead. And that's much better from BP. Can they capitalize now with the execute towards site? Smokes go out, always deep in looking for this plant. I don't think you're going to be able to get denied initially. It looks as if this will be a successful plant. Indeed is for Virtus Pro. And they win their gun battles as well elsewhere. A response in a much needed round. And suddenly changes the dynamics of this match with this one singular round to give them a second attacking round. Unless Beaulo can win a 1 versus 4. It's a very daunting task, a very difficult one, but you always have to back yourself in. Have any kind of chance. It always starts with 1 kill, followed up by a second, but 1 to not find there for Beaulo. Wanted to see if someone would then swing the doorway, but Virtus Pro are not giving him an inch, guys. They are not making any kind of movement that would give Beaulo any kind of chance. The kill onto Joystick, but at this point needs to stick the diffuser, and obviously it's being watched, and now out of time. 4-2 to close out the half.
A phenomenal attack there from Virtus Pro. Very intrigued to see what they're going to try and cook up here. Perhaps Canadian will be looking for an opportunistic play. And just down below, back stairs, but the flames will push him back. I thought for a moment that he would push through, but instead goes for the latter option to stay down below.
Well, completely chaotic to begin that round, but I don't mind it because it may catch Virtus Pro off guard. The fact that they're losing these 1v1s, sure, not ideal for DarkZero, but it's at least a set play that they've clearly thought about to try and maybe catch VP off guard. Doesn't come to fruition, not straight away. 4 versus 3, but always is low. Joystick's taking a bit of a beating. Admittedly, Beaulo and Canadian not in the greatest shape either. Now, think back actually earlier to the much earlier portions of this wonderful tournament was Bleed versus Virtus Pro. And it was Skyscraper in which Bleed decimated BP with their attack, especially on Skyscraper. They made them look second rate. And a lot of it came through this Amaru play. And I do wonder if DZ have kind of watched that and taken a little bit of inspiration.
Well, they're at the deficit currently. So we'll see if they're able to grind out this round and maybe bring it back. It will be a challenge though. And a couple drones remain, and Canadian on one of said drones currently. We're going to try and find some info for Nath and Beaulo to play off of. Guman goes off. So the position, I believe it was of Nath, will perhaps now be exposed. Canadian still down below. Supernova in hand. Great position if there's information gathering tool available, but as mentioned, there really isn't at the moment for DZ.
Yeah, the good thing as well, this fast-paced round means you've also still got time to salvage it after, yeah, it went astray to begin with. But at least it kind of forced the issue. 3 versus 4, but certainly still winnable if they can hit a couple of shots in quick succession. Dan takes a bit of damage. Over towards T-Room and Karaoke, we now turn our attention, always, deep inside of Karaoke. Some final drone work to come out, and when I say final drone, I mean final drone. 1 left for DarkZero. Canadian trying to see if someone wants to make their presence known. To find an early kill, checks right side corner, no one there. And time is now against DarkZero with the kit in hand for Canadian. Something special would have to happen. He gets one, and into the corner he goes for the default. Joystick, though, a response and knows exactly where the veteran gamer is going for the plank. And that should be the round. Indeed, it is for Virtus Pro.
10 players alive then as we enter the final phase of the round. 40 seconds on the clock. Bolt to be used here by DarkZero. Can they capitalize? Well, the answers are resounding yes. Beaulo for 1. Pemba also gets in on the action. And DarkZero, this is a key round for them to confirm.
Yeah, and suddenly opens up the site now. Defense stretched thin for Virtus Pro. Joystick still over towards Dragon. Always Pasha on site, but outnumbered. Joystick with 1. Couldn't get the second. Maybe not anticipating Beaulo to be that close to NJR. 4-1. It's been the Beaulo and Nath show. Always gets a critical kill. Creates the 1 versus 3. Can he find a way to create a couple of 1 versus 1? Pembezu doesn't need to continue to push because Beaulo's right there. Really well worked from DarkZero. They find that essential attacking round. And now the pressure straight back onto Virtus.pro. A defense completely unlocked by sheer gunplay of DarkZero.
So similar tools then to be employed here from the attack in flushing out late round positions. I think DarkZero will be quite content in allowing it to come down again to a 5 versus 5. Bit of information, and then the likes of the Grim and the Capital flush out positions, find picks, and make Virtus.pro feel uncomfortable. I think for VP, they'll be looking to disrupt that attacking pattern though. Maybe force some more fights this time around, whether that be up above or horizontally through the likes of Shepherd. Dan though, Black Stairs. Not a single kill here on Skyscraper so far, but he holds a key part of the map for his team.
I think he's a key piece to the puzzle as well for Virtus.pro. Dan was great back with Chalet and Bank. Hasn't quite worked for him though here. Even losing that little battle against Canadian. Maybe more so a draw than anything, and still holds that top Black Stairs position. So far for DarkZero, it's been Beaulo. What a show he has put on for Skyscraper, and just starting to activate at the right time at Six Invitational. 15-3 in a critical match. To try and send DarkZero to the upper bracket final, he has stood to the occasion and risen above it. Especially when there's been question marks throughout this tournament from others. And the Grim making itself useful though with that Hive launcher, and Pembezu wanting to go for the rush out of delivery. Shepherd.
Deployed.
Does he even sense that he's in danger? So much danger ever present around him. Nate on this vert angle on the rappel, trying to get this kill, and that's exactly what DZ have been trying to do for the last minute or so. Just flush out these key positions up above, top floor. But Shepherd still hasn't lost his life.
Dan as well, still alive. He's been holding up above and being a nuisance for DarkZero, who perhaps may have to cut their losses and instead focus their efforts on site, but they'll be aware that that pressure up above could come back to bite them. 50 seconds then on the clock. NJR still watching up above on flank watch. Canadian low on HP. He has a diffuser in hand. Some utility available if he elects to use it. 1 bolt in the pocket. More Hive launches to come through, and Shepherd finally pinched.
Overwhelmed completely. 2 different angles of attack. DarkZero getting themselves into really good positions to get these kills. But it's a 4 versus 3 and there's only 30 seconds left. Canadian needs to hit these shots through Kitchen onto Pasha. He survives. And now Canadian probably feels the heat inside of the Kitchen. Beaulo, though, comes to the rescue with the kill onto Pasha. But there's only 15 seconds remaining in the 3-on-2. Canadian has to get the plant to essentially a 2-on-2. But Joystick, can he find the angle? Canadian, he gets off of it. Now into red time. And Beaulo again! He goes to 17-3. And Canadian will get the plant down. DarkZero should get the round, and therefore match and series point on the other side of it, unless always can clutch up. But he's not in the best position to do so. Not from here. You would not think. Yeah, Kit has been spotted, but it feels like it's so far away. DarkZero have all of the positions to deny any kind of 1v3 retake, despite the fact that Beaulo and Canadian are so low. Nave wins this, and with that, DarkZero are now one round away from the upper bracket final.
Well, the groundwork from DarkZero has been strong so far. But to be fair, they haven't been heavily contested by the defense. Virtus.pro seemingly happy again with another 5v5 execute at the death. But Pasha over peaks.
Beaulo again.
Beaulo up to 18 kills, hunting down 20 here on Skyscraper.
Well, this is a warning for the rest of the competition remaining. Beaulo's here. He's arrived. Activated. 18-3 in a do-or-die cutthroat third map. 45 seconds left, and once again, Virtus.pro on the back foot. But some good shots into NJR mean that DarkZero still need to be careful of these entry points. And Dan on the rotate down below.
Canadian will be key late round. Hive launcher. You can see that utility being dumped. Can Dan though hit a flank? 5 attackers left, so they need to be really conscious here. DarkZero, that flank is being mindfully watched. There is, of course, the Nomad on the board. 3 versus 3, but Beaulo's still alive.
Yeah, he certainly is, and a big factor. He's been really good in these gunplays, up to 19-3. In a 2-on-3, Pembezu got 1. Dan shuts down Beaulo, though. No heroics in this round, and Virtus.pro live to fight another day. Minute remaining, and this drum position proving to be very difficult to push through. So maybe for DarkZero opting to go Dragon side. But Dan is watching and he's got that deployable shield. Flashes out, yeah, but he's got the glasses. No pressure from the window. Does have Pasha that could swing in from Dragon, and it is Pampazoo that falls to Joystick over towards Drum. Opening engagement being won again by Virtus Pro. And Dan as well, been down in Dragon. So both chokeholds successfully defended. Nate's just got to go fast through delivery down below, up the stairs, and straight to sight. Him and Canadian in a 2 versus 5. Difficult and noise made courtesy of the barbed wire. We're going to 6-5. It's going to be all the way once again in this third and decisive match. 90 seconds left, and obviously, again, slow an approach for DarkZero, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. They are a slower-paced team, but they still get plants. They still get good attacking win rates. So don't be too dismayed by a slow push from DarkZero, because despite that, they're pretty efficient once they get towards sight.
So the T extension then spotted. Double reinforcement. Shock drones are still up here for Nafe, but eventually chipped away at. Pamba lurking at the moment for any defenders that misstep. But Virtus Pro not entering their lines of sight.
Pasha. This is where you got to be careful as you're running around, and obviously sightlines being opened up, third angles outside on these windows. Pasha wants to get aggressive. Why not? I mean, why not at this point? How many times has VP gone for a bit of a counterpunch in these middle portions of the round when DZ are setting up? It might just work. It might just catch them off guard. Pasha in an off angle. Canadian slips in. Had no idea he was that close. So far advantage, but no. Pampazoo with a double kill brings it back to a 3-on-3 with 30 seconds left. How fitting here in the match point round. Joystick has to win it. Oh, the timing! You could not make it up. He looks away. Gives up the geisha position to NJR. And now with 25 seconds left, it's down to Dan and Always to try and salvage this for Virtus Pro. Kit recovered. Pampazoo now going for a move to try and get into a better position with said Kit. Dan, red pings, the playoff, couldn't hit the shots. Knife. And for DarkZero, surely this is the moment, the very moment. Unless Always, are you serious? I cannot believe what I've just seen. Are you fucking kidding me? How the hell has he clutched it for Virtus Pro? All of 1 second remaining, and he's gone and done it and sends us to overtime. For a brief moment, it felt like DarkZero had done enough, but clearly not enough. We need more time in this epic conclusion of a match.
Can he combo with Nafe and find this kill into jump? DarkZero found it so challenging to dislodge Joystick from this exact position last time. It's him and Always. This could be a big part of the round. If this works out, if Nafe finds this kill, it could be the difference maker. Oh! And they do!
What's not a kill?
Always will fall. Shouldn't be a res, but it could be. We'll see.
Well, this is where Nate's got to be careful as well. You over-aggress this, maybe you then put yourself out of position. Always is back up, salvaged. Oh my goodness, talk about little inches and little moments. Joystick just killed the teammate he just revived while he was killing NJR. Talk about a collateral. I don't know what to make of that. It's a 4-on-4. You got the kill onto NJR, but you did have to sacrifice Always. 90 seconds left. And suddenly the pressure starts to maybe get to some of these players because it is high stakes. Beaulo down, but not out.
The pacing then pauses. Pamba not capturing anybody. But DarkZero do have drum control. Beaulo falls, but he's picked up. Lurk potential late in the round, low on HP. Eyes on Dan now. He has found it very challenging here on Skyscraper, but once again tasked with holding a key position on the Warden. Behind the deployable shield. If DarkZero cannot deal with this, they'll have no chance in contesting the objective itself.
Dan might have to get aggressive swing mezzanine because they've given up drums. Well, they haven't given up. It's been won over by DarkZero. So suddenly Dan can't just hold Dragon. Otherwise, that drum position, as you can clearly see, gets overtaken. Beaulo's back up. He is, though, low. So does Dan opt to maybe get aggressive? Push mezzanine, then eventually into drum. Go for that flank option. It is there if he wishes to. No one's pushing Dragon. There's no pressure on his position. 25 seconds in the round. Beaulo holds the long angle, low on health. He could be an option to just send in and then trade him off anyway. The Maverick with the blowtorch to open up the final bit of sightlines into sight. Again, Dan is a man that can definitely change this round. Uncontested. Will he have an impact? Canadian bolts in. Dan does eventually get shut down by Pampazoo. Shepard with a shotgun. Not what DZ want to see in a 1 versus 2 time. Canadian, get the plan down. Canadian, the plan has to go down. That kid needs to be on the ground. Virtus Pro have got overtime match point. 6-3 to 6-7. Many would label that a choke. I think of it more as a dramatic comeback from Virtus Pro. One for the ages, off the back of a huge clutch from Always to send us to overtime. By the barest of margins, the slimmest of margins. But slim margins can go once again the Virtus Pro's way, with Dan getting the opening kill onto Nafe, and now off of the ROUs.
What the hell?
A sight hit immediately from Virtus Pro. Off of these screens, denying the vision to DarkZero, and Joystick goes deep for the plant. And if this plant is successful, it might just be the match. Nitrocell from Beaulo, it hits the mark from downtown. He takes out Joystick, and they lose Pasha. And with that, we may just very well go the distance. What a Nitrocell with little vision, little information. But VP have already clutched up before and can still do with 60 seconds left. A 2 versus 3. Because of that fast rush, there's still time.
Diffuser though on an island, very awkward position for Dan to try and collect. A lot of lines of sight established here by the defense, but Dan has been allowed to cross. Can Shepard cover?
Can he plant? Can he plant uncontested? 2 impacts for Canadian on the Solar. Someone to, of course, can get that information. Information that could be so pivotal. 40 seconds is all that now is left. Down a player for VP. With DC, that can still have sightline information in towards the site. Canadian is the one, though, that can get the primary information as to where this is being planted on the table. Impact to at least get some vision. Can't get him because he's on top of that table, but can he find an angle of attack? And of course, he can provide said information. It's a double stack down below. Shot in the bum. Forced off momentarily. Where's Shepard? Can he get involved?
Shotgun.
Not really. Shotgun from NJR down below. The pressure keeps mounting. Pambazoo over towards Dragon. Could also opt to get involved at this point because there's no time left. Dan has to stick. Goes for the rotate. And Pambazoo's going to get the headshot. What pressure from below? No time left, and a 15th round is well and truly required in this epic match between 2 juggernauts of this scene. 7-7 into the 15th round, where both teams have been so difficult to separate, with DarkZero winning out 7-5 on Chalet, their own map pick, and vice versa as well for Virtus Pro 7-5 on Bank, their own map pick. And these two have treated us to one of the best matches that we've seen at this Six Invitational, and one that could have huge ramifications. Rotero from Nafe, very efficient. Vulcan canister destroyed along with the barbed wire. Shepard holds the angle. And we go to T-Room and Karaoke to close this one out. Virtus Pro on the defense, but Pasha over towards Exy and Office, keeping pressure on in terms of entry denial against DZ.
No dedicated hard flank watch here for DarkZero, like a Nomad or a Gridlock. Oryx is in play. Huge wildcard here for Virtus Pro. Joystick has stepped up in so many rounds in this series. He's been a key player. And with the opportunity of him to maybe flank late in the round, DarkZero will need to be mindful of that. But all focus currently on clearing the map across. Pasha to hold down the line. He's played well thus far. Needs to chip away at this drone economy though. Flashes to come through from DZ.
Pasha to take the early contact. Is he going to be for white? No! Pambazoo thought it was cleared to push in, but it was never. Pasha, good reposition. Now they may look to try and overload set position. The Grim Hive Launcher doing its job, and he is red pinged out. Beaulo gets the final kill with the nade, but Joystick elsewhere was able to trade out and get Nave, keeping that advantage in the hands of Virtus Pro. With that, now can go back to site in a 4-on-3. Under 90 seconds remaining in the round. Dan is low. The VP have the numbers. NJR now makes his way over towards that Geisha balcony to try and put pressure.
Defense vacating. Back towards the objective. Canadian confirms that on a drone as Geisha is opened up. Very difficult to see DarkZero bring this round back, but not impossible. Star players still alive. Canadian, the 2-time Beaulo, seeking his second as well. And we'll see if they can concoct something special here. They have a minute to work with.
Only 3 drones, and they're using those right now towards the end. 45 seconds is all that's left. Canadian drone through Geisha and along with Drum. The push in now comes through in towards makeup from NJR. Next kill, absolutely pivotal for DarkZero. They need the numbers to even up heading in towards site. Of course, NJR's position inside of Geisha now well and truly known. Double stack over towards Drum from Canadian and Beaulo. The old duo, here we go. What can they find? One last time. The clutches from Virtus Pro sent us to this position. Is there one back now from DZ? Because it feels as if they're on the ropes right now. Pressured significantly with gas babes in their face. And entry proving to be quite difficult. And time the biggest factor. Canadian gets sneaky through the drone hole. But it's Beaulo with the opening kill. On to Dan. Red time. Need to get the plant down. Canadian the man to do it. Always caught on the stairs though. They don't account for him. Neither Shepard and Virtus Pro will offset DarkZero from 6-3. They make it 8-7 and send DZ to the lower bracket, booking their beautiful date with FaZe Clan in the main arena.
VP, hold on. Too strong on defense. What a performance. It looked so close towards the end, and DarkZero fought as hard as they possibly could, but it wasn't enough. What a series though. Two titans going head to head, and sets us up for some amazing storylines for the remainder of SI24. Of course, it's not all said and done for DarkZero, but they will have a date in the lower bracket with the winner of G2 and Bliss.
Coming up very shortly. Don't miss it.
Coming up after this. We're going to need a break after that match because that was very, very crazy. So not, you know, the end of the world for DarkZero. Again, they'll be disappointed at the way in which this series played out.
I honestly think it could steal them.